All right. Good evening, brothers, and welcome to our inaugural version of 7 Questions with a Brother.
Yes,
Our
sir.
whole goal here is for brothers to get to know who's who in our chapter. And tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing a great brother that from the moment he sent me his first email, I was like, this brother is going to be all right. And I feel like we've connected right from the beginning. And so I am happy and privileged to introduce Brother John Debruhl.
Yes,
And
sir.
welcome, man. And thanks for being the first one to say yes to do this. And so tonight, the whole idea is for brothers just to get to know who you are.
Yes, sir.
And so we want to start off with a couple of profile questions. And so, again, we want you to say, well, we've said your name. What's your hometown, your occupation, your family? Where did you cross? And share some hobbies. And if I need to repeat any of those, let me know.
Nah, sir. Originally, I was born in New York City. Moved to Atlanta when I was young, when I was a young fella. So basically, grew up in Atlanta. Everything, since the '80s. So grew up there. Graduated high school there. When I graduated high school, moved on to Evansville, Indiana, where I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, New Pi chapter, spring of '91.
Okay, 91.
Yes, sir. When it was still pleasure. You know how it goes. No, it's all good. I just if there's a lot of things about that situation that I would be like, yeah, I understand how brothers do it today, so I appreciate the way they do it now.
Right.
But I met my wife at the University of Evansville. We've been married to be 30 years next May, so we plan on doing something big for that.
Okay, certainly celebrate that. 30 years.
Yes, sir.
Man,
We've been
putting
together.
up with you.
I know, right? That's what I said. Putting up with, like I said, I just try to stay out of the way. I don't even, you know how it is. I'm just trying to stay out of the way. I got two boys, 28-year-old and 25-year-old. 28-year-old, his name is Keenan, and my 25-year-old, his name is Khalil. Real good kids. They still trying to find their way. You know how it goes. So I'm just, happy and blessed to be here, man. Right now I am by trade an electrical engineer, but right now I'm currently working for the state of Ohio for Ohio Facilities and Construction Commission. I project manage for a bunch of the agencies, the Department of Administrative Services, Agriculture, Department of Corrections, whole bunch of projects. Just trying to stay busy. I've been with them just a little bit over a year this past July, so it's been good. Man. Quality of life is where I'm looking for right now, and this job is definitely being in the public sector is definitely a lot less stress than being in the private sector. So
Right.
I'm blessed about that.
I hear you. So what about some hobbies? What are some things you do just for your own pleasure or to wind down or just to have fun?
I'm a big sports guy, man. I love it. Don't even matter what it is: baseball, football, basketball. It's hard to watch a baseball game on TV, but I'm a definitely playoff baseball guy. My Braves couldn't pull it out. They let the Phillies take care of them.
Sorry about your luck,
Yeah, it happens. It happens on occasion. We won the championship last year, so I'm good. All my teams are Atlanta Braves, Falcons, uh, Hawks, Bulldogs, of course, number one in the country. Yes, sir. Defending champs.
You might have some folks around here who argue about that, but not me.
Not you, but I just like spending time with my family, man. It's really just a blessing to be able to just be around them and just hanging out. I'm happy to be able to be a part of Alpha Rho Lambda again. I mean, for the first time, because you guys have made me feel so welcome. So I'm really just trying to branch out and get in where I fit in over there and figure out how y'all do things and just enjoying getting back into brotherhood again, because it's been a minute. I got a lot of brothers that I know since my whole life as an alpha, so we stay tight. A couple of them are in the Midwest region, so they're going to come down for regionals this year. I invited them to stay at the house, so I'm looking forward to that. But I just man, I like going to movies. Black Panther comes out this weekend, so I'm gonna check that out.
That's gonna be a packed house.
Yeah, that's why I bought tickets like 3 weeks ago, just so I could get good seats.
Okay.
But me and my wife, she likes to go roller skating. I'm not a big roller skater, but I hang out with her.
Right.
But For the most part, man, I just be trying to relax.
Right.
50 years old this year, so you got to start
Bravo. Huh?
relaxing.
That's cool. Well, that's why you've been married 30 years, because she likes skating, so you go anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Well,
sir.
bruh, thanks for sharing all that, man. We
Um,
we definitely celebrate families. I always tell new initiates that how alpha is not a home breaker, and so we certainly celebrate family and marriages. And man, thanks for being a great example for all of our young Black brothers that need to see that.
yeah, because my parents been divorced since I was 8, so I definitely wanted to break that cycle.
Right, right. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So I got 7 questions for you. They random questions. Like I said before we started, just be you. And again, the whole idea here is just for brothers to get to know each other. So share what you want, and we hope that brothers will enjoy getting to know you.
Yes,
So
sir.
first question we have is, what's the last book you read? Like what's something that you read that you would want to share with folks?
Book that I read. You know what? To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a real big book reader, but
Okay,
I'll be on the internet all the time doing research.
okay.
Like I try not to be a political guy.
Uh,
I really don't, but I'm really like starting to look into that and be like, you know what? I gotta I gotta keep up on what's going on in the country. So
right.
that's my main thing is like I read poems, but it's random. Like
Yeah.
I'm just to be perfectly honest with you, when I graduated college, I didn't want to read another book.
That's it. I ain't reading no more.
I didn't want to read another book. It's like I love reading the newspaper. I love reading magazines. I love getting on the internet and doing research for certain things. It's like so I really the internet's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of
So
reading in that.
yeah, so let's switch it up a little bit. What's like an interesting article or something you've came across lately that you was like, man, this is really interesting, or this is something that man, I just find to be amazing or whatever, anything.
So just over the past month, everything with the election and what's
Mhm.
everything that's going on and stuff. I just been doing a lot of research into the candidates about a lot of the way that things are, and I've learned just from reading these articles that we're everybody's political thing is not too much different than my own.
Mhm.
Just that it's the rhetoric that people have that causes the issues.
Yeah.
Like it keeps saying extreme right, extreme left, and I read all those articles, and those are like it's really out of balance when everybody in the country is really mostly in the middle on their political views
Mhm.
because everybody's biggest thing is money, making sure that their pockets stay okay, and that their family they can afford to buy food for their family and afford to take care of their family. That's where everybody pretty much lies in the world, in the country, pretty much. So just read these articles about how people think that they're so much more different than the other person just based off of being a Democrat or Republican instead of just being a person.
Mhm.
So it's I want to say that it's more just not ignorance, but just uninformed.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of uninformed beliefs out there. So it's does a very interesting part of a lot of the stuff that I read about just
Okay.
in general.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. So when you think about your life and all that the experience that you've had and all, what would you say has been a major challenge that you have experienced and dealt with in life?
Getting married young.
Getting married young.
You got married at 21 and 20. So you I never knew what it was like to my dad was around, but he wasn't around. He was like we would see each other, but it wasn't like he was in the house. So it was a lot of stuff that I didn't learn
Mhm.
that I had to learn growing up with my wife. And it's like, and even so much for her, she was even a little bit more, I guess, naive than me when it came to everything else. So it's like I'm trying to be the grown up and trying to understand how things go, but it's like the way I view things, the way she view things is completely different. So we're trying to merge that, and then we had our first child when she was 21 years old.
Okay.
So it's like you're trying to raise a child, learn how to be married, and learn how to be a father, learn how to be a husband, and all this stuff at 21 years old. Life can't come in fast. You're trying to figure out how to take care of them, how to provide for them. So it's just like growing up.
Yeah.
Just
Fast.
yeah, it's real fast. So it's like man. So it's been a blessing because now I'm able to talk to my boys about, hey man, this is what happened. But there's also a lot of things as a parent that you miss when you're young with your kids, and you're trying to figure out, well, like, and they be like, you know how kids are, like, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Like, nobody handed me a manual and was like, sir, this is what you need to do in this situation.
Right.
They understand now, but when they're younger, they don't understand that stuff.
Right.
But it's just growing up fast, real fast.
Yeah, I used to always tell my kids, I'm in parent years, I'm as old as the oldest.
Right.
So my son just hit 21 last year. So I tell people all the time, I just became a grown adult last year.
Right. When it comes to parenting, because you just
Yeah,
don't know. Because
exactly.
both kids are different. Both my boys was like night and day. The youngest one, when he was born, came home, slept through the night immediately. I
Yeah.
had to get up in the middle of the night and check on him. He was like, he wasn't fussy, he wasn't crying. That second one, cry all the time. Don't see through the night. Just mad about everything. It's like, so you have to parent different, and it's tough. But
Yeah.
we made it through. They grown now. They at my house, so
Right. And you had 30 years of marriage. So hey,
yeah.
you
I wanted to
obviously
be
figured out what works, right?
right. Exactly.
All right. So let's shift to another question. So if you were thinking about who was the last person that you helped that couldn't pay you back? And so in other words, you helped them just because.
My pops. My pops is 72 years old, and he's going through a tough time right now.
Mhm.
When he retired, I want to say 7, 8 years ago, it was a bad economic time. He lost a lot of money in retirement.
Mhm.
So it was like I went down there to see him when I went down to the game, and just trying to figure out what's going on, and just we're in that season, and I hate to say that, but being 50 years old, your parents are older, so you're really trying to you're starting to become the parent. So it's like, you know, and I learned, and when I was growing up, my dad always told me you got to take care of yourself because nobody's really going to take care of you. And I'm just like, I understand that. So I kind of grew up like, I'm just going to be selfish and take care of me because nobody's going to take care of me. But then I met my wife, and she's changed all that. She's the type of person that gives without even thinking about getting anything back. And she taught me that, and the blessings that we receive from that is by far better than anything I could have ever got back with money that somebody gave me, or time that I gave somebody, or just energy that I gave somebody. So I don't have a problem with, I just want everybody to be okay. I'm the type of person, I want everybody to win. So if they're winning, I'm happy for them. you know,
Right.
if you
Right.
if there's something that you're doing that I figured that I can model something after, I'm gonna model it, because if you're doing well, then I want to figure out how you're doing it.
Right.
And if somebody wants to come ask me how I'm doing it, I'm just gonna explain to them, man, it's just hard work,
Yeah.
being diligent.
Right.
So I mean, I try to do my best with helping people. Sometimes it backfires. Sometimes it works out well. It just
Yeah.
it's a luck of the draw.
Right. Well, hey, it's like investing. Sometimes you invest, you make money, and
Sometimes
you
you
might
don't.
lose money, but if you don't invest at all, you
Yeah,
don't help nobody.
you definitely don't help
So
nobody.
so
So
you gotta take a chance at helping folks and hoping that you can make a difference. But if
yeah.
you don't, hopefully you don't let it keep you from helping the next
Oh
person.
no, it's never that. It's just more along the lines of you know, my circle. I keep my circle small, but my heart is still big.
Yeah. Right.
So I
Got
take care. I take care of the people that's within my circle, even if there's a situation that they're not going to be able to be there for me, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've been basically on my own since I was 18 years old, so I know how to take care of me.
Okay. So, perfect segue to the next question. If you were to look back at your 18-year-old self,
Woo-hoo.
what would you tell yourself?
I would tell my 18-year-old self to stay in the gym. I'm not even gonna lie. Just stay in it. When I was in college, you had free gym membership. You had a free gym membership in college. All you had to do was walk across the street to the gym, and man, these old bones, stay in the gym. That's what I would tell myself. Stay in the gym and invest your money early.
Okay.
That's the two things I would tell myself.
That's funny. That is funny. Man, that's a heck of a thought when we think about that, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
So, how would you say you motivate others and what motivates you?
That is a really good question. I figured how I motivate others is just by being me. I just, you know, everything that I enjoy, I try to get people involved in. I like to travel. Me and my wife, we like to go. And I try to get all my people to come with me, even though sometimes they can't, but sometimes they can. I just try to just do stuff, just do things and let everybody realize, like, man, you got one life. You got one life on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta live it like you're not gonna wake up in the morning. You gotta enjoy your people. You gotta love the people that love you. And the best way I can show to motivate people is just to show it to them. Just, hey, this is what I'm doing. I love this. I love being around my people. I love hanging out with my people. And I want all of us to grow and to be good together. And how people motivate me, or I guess how I motivate myself is I just dealing with the things I've dealt with. It's like, I try to grow. I've changed a lot, especially as a parent. I've changed a lot. So it's really just like looking at within myself and saying, you know what, you could have did this. If you had done this back then, you probably would have got a different result and got a better result. So I try to just look at myself and look at myself in the mirror and like, you know what, sometimes you be messing up. Sometimes you be messing up. So it's
we all can say that, can we?
So just like you need to figure out a way to make it better. Yeah. So that's what I just try to do, that to motivate myself, look at myself in the mirror and be like, what is it that I can do to make my situation better, or make the situation with a relationship better, or the situation on my job better, or just in my life in general. So just look at myself and look at the man in the mirror and be like, hey, you know what you're doing, you know what you need to do.
Right. But they say the first step to improvement is admitting it to yourself. No.
No true words have ever been spoken.
So that's great. So got a couple more questions, and I guess we can't interview an Alpha brother without saying, what impact has Alpha Phi Alpha had on you in your life, personally, professionally, in the fraternity itself? But what is the impact that you would say that Alpha has had on you?
When I was growing up in Atlanta, all I ever saw was Alphas doing things. And it motivated me to I want to go to college. I want to do all this stuff that they're doing. I want to, take care of the community and stuff like that. So when I got to school, I was on campus looking around. I was like, oh, is there any Alphas on this campus? Because if there ain't no Alphas on this campus, I'm not pledging nothing. I'm just not going to do it.
You knew from the get-go.
Huh? From the get-go, it was like, there is no Alphas on this campus. I will not do this, and I will find a grad chapter when I graduate, because I'm not nothing against none of the other fraternities, but it's not what I wanted, right? Mm-hmm. And the people that have been in my life for the longest are my dean and my sans, and we are like really like brothers. I mean, we take care of each other. We call each other. We make sure that we're okay. We go see each other when one of my brothers, he does like plays and stuff. And he's like, hey man, I'm going out to Vegas to do this play. I'm like, I like to travel. When is the play? And I came out there, and it was just like I hadn't seen him in a while, because COVID and everything. Nobody was being around each other. So the first time I saw him since COVID started, and just the embrace that we had was like, man, I am so happy to see you. I am so glad that you're okay. So, I mean, I got my first job because of an alpha that I knew when I was in college. I had a job that paid me well to help me take care of my family just because he worked at the place.
Right.
He was like, hey, man, it's a mailroom job, but they pay like, this is the 90s, so they pay him like $10 an hour. $10 an hour in the 90s was a lot of money.
Right.
So it was like, so it was just like just the brotherhood and the camaraderie is like, it's been that way my whole life. And now coming back and being Alpha Lambda, you guys have opened up your house to me, and it's been a blessing. And I just feel like I felt like I never left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you guys do it better than I've ever seen it, and that's just truth.
Yeah.
Because I've been around a lot of other grad chapters, and you guys do it better than anybody I've ever seen do it.
Yeah.
With just the love that you guys give.
Well, we certainly appreciate that. Now I got to make one correction in your sentence. You said you guys do it better than I ever seen. Well, this is what you got to change to. We do it.
Right.
We
yeah,
do it.
Part of it now. Yeah, we. I'll allow that. I'll accept that. Yep, I was wrong for that. Yep, because I mean, it's been a just the way that you guys welcome me back. It's been amazing. I'm very excited to be here and be helpful in any way possible.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you, brother. And like I said in the beginning, man, from the moment we first communicated, I just felt your energy. And I consider it a blessing for me to have met you and know you personally. And I know you're going to bring blessings to the chapter. So one last question.
Yes, sir.
As we think about the future, there's a writer, Stephen Covey, he says, always begin with the end in mind. Always begin with the end in mind. So when you think about just 5 years from now, what will brothers say about you and your contribution and your presence? What do you want brothers to be able to say about you?
That he was there for me when nobody else was, or when he was there for me like he was my own family. I want to be able to just, I want to pour into people, just pour into them. And like, I've been around a long time. I've experienced a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And for young brothers that are in college, or young brothers that are just now, getting married or just having families, I have a lot of knowledge to give them and explain to them like, hey man, it's a lot of work. This is what I feel like is important.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to pour into them and just be like, you know what? Brother Debruhl has always been a good role model for me.
Yeah.
That's what I want to even just with everything, just being a good role model.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's good. And I agree with you. That's definitely something that I hope we all would strive for. And man, like I said, I just think it's a blessing to have met you. We are happy to have you here in the chapter. We're going to be better because of you. And so I want to thank you for being our first brother on 7 Questions with a Brother.
I'll take that.
It's certainly been my privilege and pleasure tonight to conversate with you, and I can't wait to see the brothers' reactions. And just thank you, brother, man. You got a lot of energy, a lot of positivity, and like I said, man, I just felt it from the first contact, and I think brothers should take the opportunity to get to know you.
I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
We're going to end it here, and let's see. I'm gonna see you Saturday at frat meeting.
Yes, sir. You'll definitely see me on Saturday.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
And,
06, 06.
brother.
Yes,
All
sir.
Right.